When Eragon opened his eyes in the morning, he thought the sky had fallen. Book 1, Eragon. Chapter 11, The Doom of Innocence. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle, one chapter at a time. I'm Darien Smartt.
And I'm Lucy Hart.
Well, I felt like I was being like a really somber energy there. Like, just for these chapters we're getting into, like, I definitely realized, like, as I was doing that, wow, I'm really bringing an energy, and it is stoic.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
And so I appreciate you immediately bringing in, like, nope, Chipper, bring it up, what are you doing?
No, I mean, it's fair. Well, we talked about tone last time. Maybe I'm being inappropriate with my peppy. It is not time to be peppy right now.
Well, we haven't even gotten to it.
I know, we haven't even gotten to it yet.
So, yes.
The Doom of Innocence.
Mm-hmm. But before we get into that,
yes,
Lucy, do you have any sparks of creativity to share?
Yes, I do.
Sparks of inspiration.
Sparks of inspiration. Yes, I do. So lately, you know this, I joined like a writing boot camp by Monica Hay. She is more, I believe that's her last name, Hay, and she is more known, not necessarily like writing, but more of a how to get past writer's resistance, which is like procrastination, self-doubt, like all those things. And she's great. I really, really enjoyed it. Yesterday we had a class where we talked about writing your first book wrong.
Ooh.
And I really like that because it's like you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and that includes you're going to it's not like wrong, but it's like the shitty first draft. Like, because like she even told this really inspiring story where she was like, hey, I wrote this book and I literally rewrote it word for word 3 times before. And it was like, it wasn't discouraging. It was more encouraging because it was, she was at every revision, every rewrite, she was getting closer and closer to the story that she was telling. So that reminded me, that whole story is to do the thing that actually really inspires me.
Ooh.
It reminded me of the Studio Ghibli film Whisper of the Heart.
Oh, yeah. I love Whisper of the Heart.
It's so good. Minor spoilers for anyone who like wants to go into it, spoiler free, but there's a main character who decides she wants to write a book. Like, that's her whole focus. And so she pours her whole soul into writing and researching, and she like goes to the library to research, and she does all this thing, and she writes her first book. And then she goes to this old man who encouraged her to follow her dreams, and also someone that she just respects. Yeah. And she asks him to read it. And she can't watch him read it.
You have to walk away from that. You can't just do that.
Right? So she stays outside, and it's not like freezing, but it is cold. But she opts to stay outside while he goes inside and reads it in one sitting. Yeah. And I'm going to actually read the quote that both Mr. Nishi, I believe is how you say that, and then Shizuko says. So he comes out and finds her there, and he goes, so there you are. I finished your book. Thank you, dear. It was really wonderful. And she says, no, it's not. It's a mess. The storyline goes all over the place. All the characters' dialogues sound corny. You have to tell me the truth. I know it's a complete disaster. And he's like, no, it's just rough. Like earlier in the thing, he talked about like finding geodes and gems and stuff like this. And he basically says, you should be very proud for all of your hard work. You've dug inside your soul and found some real gems. Next, you'll need to polish it, which will also take a lot of work. And I think like that's the inspiration where it's like you find these gems, and you like your work is in this really rough patch. Yeah. And it was difficult to do that. It was difficult to find that. Yeah. But it's like encouraging. I guess for me, it's like inspiring that it's like, oh, it's okay that the first draft was shitty. Like, it's supposed to be shitty.
It's and
then, so then you have to go through and you have to polish them. You have to work with them to actually have them become what they are meant to become. Yeah. So I just like, I'm getting chills. Like and like literally like every time I have a hard time with my writing, I do think back to Whisper of the Heart, where I'm like, I just need to polish my gems. Like, they're fine. I just need to polish them now. So it's just really inspiring. I know that was really long.
No, that's so good. That's so good. A note regarding Whisper of the Heart, the way our mutual friend, comedian and writer Dylan Hunter described the movie to me before I watched it was, it's a Ghibli movie, but every time it has the potential to become whimsical, the characters turn in a different direction.
Yeah.
And so there's so many times in the film you're like, oh yeah, here's the whimsical magic. And it just, whoop, what?
And it doesn't. It stays
but it's
normal.
Yeah, it stays
slice of life. It stays slice of life.
But in a way that's still magical and wonderful and truly delightful. Should we call them geodes? I've been calling it sparks of inspiration, but like, do we need to call them the geode?
I actually really like that.
Yeah, our geodes.
Our geodes for the day.
Yeah. We'll discuss. I like the geodes too, but we'll discuss. But mine is actually kind of related to, tangentially, you know what? They were in the same genre,
okay,
I would say, as yours. And that is this whole past summer, I got to work at a summer writing camp.
Yeah.
Here in town. And it is run by a local nonprofit that is dedicated to like writers and readers and like literacy in the state of Idaho. It's the only nonprofit in the state of Idaho dedicated to that cause specifically.
Yeah.
And they put on like workshops all throughout the year. The author V.E. Schwab is about to come visit that they're hosting her. They do like writer residencies at local schools where they can like have a local writer come to a school for like 12 weeks. And once a week they come in and just literally teach like creative writing to these kids in a non-academic style. So there's no grades, there's no like critiques. There's just like, here's what you like to write about. How can we like help you harness your skill and like tell the craft. It's very cool. So the summer writing camps are literally like every week there is just a different writing camp for 3 hours in the morning or afternoon, depending on what the kids are signed up for. And it's just writing.
Yeah.
It's just the kids. And there are different themes. There's like cabin writers, which is just because the organization is the cabin.
Yeah.
And it is just different types of writing. They get to do like poetry and short story and just learn like mechanics and structure of like writing. You get to experiment with that.
Yeah.
And then there's like ones that are specifically sci-fi fantasy, one called Strange Lands. And it's learning how to like, how do you build a sci-fi fantasy world, right? And there's Urban Inc., where it's about going into the city and finding inspiration from that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like when a couple episodes ago, I mentioned the term ekphrasis, which is when you like a piece of writing based on a visual like piece of art. I learned about that in just being at the camp.
That's so cool.
So I was not teaching any of these camps yet, but I was what is considered like camper support. Essentially, I was there if there were any campers who like ADHD, autism. I had one girl who was hard of hearing, one of her ears, and needed like her. Well, they said she might need help just like having instructions repeated to her. What I actually did was be her scribe to help this kid focus because she had 1,000 ideas all over the place and just could not sit down and want to share it. So I sat there and be like, "All right, what's the next line?" And she's like, "This is the next line." And it was great. And so just being around all these kids, so fun.
Yeah.
Like, Lucy, you know this, but listeners, you shouldn't know this. Is that for a while, I was going to school to be a 6th grade English teacher.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the teaching program at the university I was attending because I still want to work with kids and teach communication and teach writing and stuff. Like, my 6th grade English teacher was the best teacher I ever had and was very influential on me. And I wanted to do that for other kids.
Yeah.
I do not, however, want to work in the American public education system.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that anymore. But it was very cool to be there. But the spark of inspiration comes from, one, just getting to see these kids writing, right? Mm-hmm. Getting to see them working. Some kids who write endlessly and some who like, my parent just signed me up for this, right? But still creating things and still like sharing the reading at the end of the week and hearing like all these different teaching writers having different like thoughts and different like strategies, but it all kind of boils down to like, just make it. Yeah. Just create it. Like, and I like throughout watching it and like watching some kids who tear out every page of their notebook because they just can't, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And some who are so scared to share their stuff because they don't think it's good, even though, oh my God, Bryn, this was the best poem I've ever heard. And you're like 9. Yeah. What the fuck? How are you doing this? This is incredible. But just, so you don't even know why, but for about 18 months now, I've had a really hard time writing. Mm-hmm. Dear listener, it's been a thing I used to do all the time, every day, constantly writing, and I have really struggled to do so. So being in the writing camp, I actually got to do writing again. I got to, in between helping the kids sit down and just write paragraphs and paragraphs. And didn't match a lot. I was mostly helping these kids. Yeah. But getting to do that. And so like, much like the geode thing, like digging in and finding it, and now you're going to polish it and that'll take hard work. The thing that I think I really helped me creatively was it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Yep. And that like my taking this approach to this like first draft where I'm like, now that it is becoming real and I'm actually writing it, I'm starting to be like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, why coffee shop? That's stupid. Like, stop. Just make it real. Just make it real. Yeah. And then we can tear it apart and rebuild it later. But just it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real.
Yep.
And yeah, so highly recommend going to a summer writing camp and like working with kids and encouraging writing. That's great for inspiration. But yeah, that was.
I really like that. That's very good. And it's also important. Like, I think the big thing too is like, finish whatever you're writing. Like if any of our listeners are writing something, it's more important right now to first finish it.
Yeah.
And then you can go back and tear it out. And I know I struggled with that a lot too, having to go back and rewrite and go back and rewrite and go back and rewrite. And I never finished anything. But it's like, if you grit your teeth and you just tell yourself, this is the shitty first draft. These are the rough cut, still in this rock gems that are inside of me, and they're there, and it's okay. And then once you actually get those out, and once you've actually cracked open that rock and have those gems, then you can start polishing them.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Yep. So now that we've shared these like wonderful, uplifting, joyous thoughts, let's get into the Doom.
Yes, kind of uplift that vibe a little bit before kind of
then I'm going back
diving
into
in a
being
little
the
bit.
most somber.
Oh man,
right.
Like rough.
Oh. The morning after their first flight together, Eragon and Saphira desperately race back to the farm. They find Eragon's home completely destroyed, the fields burning, and the house blown apart by some explosion. Saphira encourages Eragon not to abandon hope yet, and together they find Garo and pull him from the wreckage. But Garo is badly hurt, barely clinging to life. Saphira flies Eragon and Garo as close as she can to Carvajal before her strength gives out. Eragon continues alone, trying to fight against his own wounds and exhaustion to get help. Just outside of town, Eragon is intercepted by an injured Braum before he himself passes out.
Yep. Oof.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's a lot. It's what not like what everything's been building up to, but it's definitely like the tension that we've been feeling for the past like several chapters, and like even like the little unease that we felt kind of with the prologue leading into this.
Yeah.
Like it's finally like at the first, like if this is seen as like a what are those graphs, like the one that increase and increase and increase,
rising
like
action.
This is the first peak before it dips down back again and then goes back up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, but it's like this is the first peak. Absolutely.
I do like how the chapter starts when he's like, oh, he thought the sky had fallen.
I really do like that. And I think like when I first read that, I actually had to sit and imagine what that would have been like waking up and it's just blue and being like, ah! Yeah. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's Saphira's ring.
Yeah.
Like, wing. That's what it is. Just this beautiful blue wing right in front of him. But I think it's also an appropriate, like, the sky is falling is like, that's the metaphor for everything is going. I mean, it's also a metaphor for like, you're overreacting. The sky isn't really falling. Silly little chicken.
Yeah.
But also like the feeling that when you feel like the sky is falling and everything is going wrong and you have no control, like we are instantly like, that is Eragon's mindset.
Yeah.
Like maybe if he was in a different headspace, he'd open up and think he was like surrounded by the sky or in the sky or because it's like, I think that the description of like him believing the sky had fallen is a very specific choice to immediately let us know like this is where Eragon's headspace is at.
Yep, absolutely.
It's not good.
No, I agree with that. Absolutely. And then I do like how he touches it and he goes, oh, right, Saphira.
Dragon.
Right.
I have a dragon.
And then he's like, wake up.
Hey, I got it.
And like, I do like that he summoned the energy to move and pounded weakly on Saphira's side. Like, pounding a dragon, like, even if it's like, wake up.
Like, it's also interesting that he yells that he speaks verbally rather than trying to communicate with her mentally because he knows she's asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know whether they can communicate.
That's true.
When the unconscious yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets up, struggles to get some water. They're like waking up. And he realizes that this is exactly where Saphira's egg had first appeared to him. Like, he notes, like, there could be no mistake, for now he saw the gray trees that had been stripped of their needles in the explosion. How did Saphira know where this was? She was still in the egg. My memories must have given her enough information to find it. And it's like, she was seeking safety.
Yeah.
And returned to the place where Eragon found her egg.
Yep. It's true. And I do really like that too, where like that's where she went, either consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever explained if she purposefully went there. She just went there.
Yeah.
So, but I think like she's looking for a place of comfort and safety, and that was like honestly, like we don't know if like she's aware in the egg. Like we're unsure about that. But it's like it could have been like just this like knowing of the first sense of safety after having been in the shade and the terror. And then the first sense of safety after that is Eragon's arms.
Picking her up.
Like,
yeah. So that's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like being like, you got to take me home. Like, I know you don't want to, but you must. Both of us carry an obligation to Garo. He has cared for me, and through me, you. Would you ignore that debt? What will be said of us in the years to come if we don't return? That we hid like cowards while my uncle was in danger. I can hear it now. The story of the rider and his craven dragon. If there'll be a fight, let's face it and not shy away. You're a dragon. Even a shade would run from you. Yet you crouch in the mountains like a frightened rabbit. Eragon meant to anger her, and he succeeded.
Like, woof. Like, woo. I do remember, like, reading that and just going, oof.
Oof. That's a low blow.
Like, that's a lot. And, like, she reacts accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
A growl rippled in her throat, and as her head jabbed within a few inches of his face. And she's just like, ugh. Yeah. Like, yeah, that works.
Yep. And she agrees. She's like, I will take you because a debt is owed, but into foolishness we fly.
Yep. I do like that.
Mm-hmm. I want to. He's like describes like you're a dragon. Even a shade would run away from you.
Yep.
Interesting description there.
Yeah.
Eragon. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I will say that like we know Saphira was terrified.
Yeah.
Likely justifiably so.
Yeah.
And Eragon being like, he does not understand why she would be scared because she is he literally like you're a dragon. Like you're the scariest thing out there. You're the most powerful thing here. Yep. Like he does not yet have a concept of where Saphira is truly standing in the power ranking of this world. He doesn't know yet.
And I think like that's really important because he grew up hearing Brahm's stories of dragons, and so he has like put them on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dragons are super powerful. They're super strong. Why would they fear anything? Kind of thing.
Yeah, and in his world, as it exists right now in this moment, Saphira is the most powerful thing.
Oh, 100%.
The most like nothing could like what? No, he's like at this point he's like she's big enough that like nothing can hurt her.
Yep.
In the valley.
Yep.
But I don't know, Eragon. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like, yep.
Yeah. They fly back. And I believe, Lucy, you had estimated that they wouldn't get there until, like, afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yep. They get there by early afternoon. Palancar Valley lay before them. And then, when he spotted it, fear jolted him. A black plume with orange flames dancing at its base rose from the farm.
That's a good description.
It's so good.
Oh no, not just smoke, but fire.
Yeah, because it's like it's described before as like smoke was spiral. I think like that was one of the last scenes we got of the farm. Was smoke spiraling out of the chimney, and now we have. It's really crushing.
I'm so upset, and nothing's even happened yet.
Yeah. It's very much we almost feel the same sense of fear and dread because we're like, oh no, because again, like kind of touching on what we discussed last chapter, fear fragile and weak and small. So it's just this moment, absolutely. And then I like he's Saphira, he pointed, get me down there now. Like he's like, absolutely. And then she altered her dive slightly to go to the forest, and he was like, no, you're landing in the farm. Like, that all bets are off. Like, absolutely
like, I don't care. We don't care if we're seeing it anymore. Like, she's used to going to, like, okay, I'll land in the forest. Yeah. Like, no, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the house had been blasted apart. Timbers and boards that had been walls and roof were strewn across a wide area. The wood was pulverized as if a giant hammer had smashed it. Sooty shingles lay everywhere. A few twisted metal plates were all that remained of the stone. And it's like thick, oily smoke billowed from the barn, which burned fiercely. The farm animals were gone, either killed or frightened away. And Eragon is like running through the wreckage, desperately trying to find his uncle. Saphira's this great line, sorrow breeds here.
So good.
Oh,
like, it's like, oh, woof.
Yeah, and he's angry. He's like, so what would have happened if you hadn't run away with me? You would not be alive if we had stayed. Look at this. We could have warned Garo. It's your fault he didn't get away.
Yep.
Or it's your fault he didn't get away.
Yep.
And he's just, it's so bad.
And I really like Saphira, because, like, she's connected to him in such a deep mental way that she knows not to take it seriously, because she doesn't lash out at him for saying these things, because she understands, like, this had happened, but she's also looking at it very logically, like, you would have died if we stayed. Like, and then she also says, take comfort, all may not be lost. Yeah. And then examine the trail. My eyes see only 2 sets of prints. Garo could not have been taken from here. And then it goes again to, like, Eragon's kind of tracking expertise, and he realizes the 2 sets of boots leaving were carrying the same weight, and so they didn't carry Garo. So he's like, okay. So then he starts digging through everything.
And he does find him.
Yep.
As, like, he's digging through the wreckage of the house. As he pulled on a board, something rattled behind them. He spun around, ready for an attack. A hand extended from under a section of collapsed roof. It moved weakly, and he grasped it with a cry. Uncle, can you hear me? There was no response. And so he calls to Saphira, because he can't move it. He can't move the beam. He can't move it. She came immediately.
Yep. Saphira, I need you. She came immediately. Yep.
And I think and she's able to, like, help him get the beams move. Her claws sank into what was left of the floor. Her muscles strained. And when she gets the beam lifted, Eragon runs in and he, like, pulls Garo out of the destroyed house. And it's, and it's getting to it now. Like, my writing takeaway is, like, don't pull your punches.
Yeah.
Because this is, like, the house is destroyed.
The house is, there is, like, you can't fix this. Yeah. Like, it is gone. Yeah. Like, 100%. Yep.
And then we see Garo, who, I guess, a content warning for descriptions of suggested torture and, at the very least, like, severe physical injury.
Yep.
So if that's something that's like, ooh, don't, like, go ahead and skip, like, minute and a half.
Yeah.
We won't dwell on this, but I do want to, like, examine it.
Yeah.
I think it is well done. Dismayed, he touched his uncle gently. His skin was gray, lifeless, and dry, as if a fever had burned off any sweat. His lip was split, and there was a long scrape on his cheekbone. But that was not the worst. Deep, ragged burns covered most of his body. They were chalky white and oozed clear liquid. A cloying, sickening smell hung over him, the odor of rotting fruit. His breath came in short jerks, each one sounding like a death rattle.
Yep.
Murderers, hissed Saphira. And Eragon's insistent that it's like, we have to get him to Carvajal. There's a healer, Gertrude.
Yep.
And Saphira presented with an image of Garo hanging under her while she flew. Can you lift both of us? I must.
That's so good. So good. Like, she's like, it's not a matter of can I? I have to do this. And it's just like, yeah. It's so good. And before we continue on from that part, I do just want to go back just a little bit.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like the part where it's like when Eragon is scrambling to remove all these big pieces of rubble, pieces of debris that he could not have moved normally now seem to shift on their own accord. And it's like, for me,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Line
And
exactly.
it's for me, it's like, I'm not sure if that's showing us that in the past few months, Eragon has gone under some changes where he's able to move these pieces, like, just, like, so easily it looks like they're doing it on their own. Or if he's so desperate, there's, like, a weird magic thing going where they're actually moving and he's not even aware of it. But in his thing, they are shifting on their own as he is digging. Like, so he's digging and these pieces are also just moving and he's just not even clocking it because he's so desperate.
See, I just interpreted it as like, the adrenaline of, mom's lifting cars off of kids
and it could
thing.
be that too.
But I like yours better because I think it makes sense to lend to, like, what Eragon specifically is going through.
Yeah, and I think it has a big thing because like Eragon hasn't necessarily tried to see if there's anything different about him because he hasn't. They increase in speed and intelligence and strength, and he hasn't really done this. And this is the first time where it is needed.
That's such a good point, Liz. That's such a good point.
Freaking out, digging, not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, it's like it's either something magical or something just like his physical strength has just improved so significantly.
I like that interpretation. I will. Yeah, I think that feels accurate.
And then again, going back to the wounds, and then again, dear listeners, if you clock back in at this time, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about it. So just a little bit of awareness there. Maybe skip a couple minutes. When I first read this, like my very first time reading this, my brain went acid. Immediately. Like that was just something like my brain was like he got acid thrown on him. Like that was just where my brain went. And
yeah, because the barn is on fire.
Yeah,
the house is not.
And he's got these deep ragged burns that were chalky white and oozed clear liquid, and a cloying sickening smell hung over him. And that just for me, it was like acid. Like I've never smelled acid and I've never experienced acid, but I'm like that's acid. And I just love damn,
acid splash is way less fun of a spell now that you see what it does.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's like, and I don't even, I think they do describe like what it is later on, but I honestly don't remember. But like for me, it was like that for me, like first reading it, and my brain was like, oh, it's acid. My brain was like, that's a really good way to explain something that you don't know, and. That could be. We'll talk about like writer, the writer takeaway at the end, kind of evolving around that. But I think that's such a good way of describing something that the people in this book, especially Eragon, would have no idea about.
Yeah. How would that be a thing? No, that makes total sense.
Yeah. But those are the two things I wanted to touch back on. So
no, but let's swing us back up into something uplifting. I just want to touch on like Saphira instantly coming immediately calls her, can you lift both of us? I must. Like, I think these moments of them together, like, do a good job to, like, even though the previous chapter was, like, very distressing, very frustrating, Eragon was very angry with her.
Yep.
It would have been easy for that to create this, like, ongoing rift between the two of them, especially now that we see what happened to his home and to his uncle.
Yep.
But I think Saphira being there for him in this moment and helping him as much as she can.
Yeah.
Like, literally getting Garo out of there and now flying them as much as she physically can, even though, like, as she's flying, it is clearly a burden. It is a strain. Like, it's the extra weight. And she's, like, there's froth at her mouth.
Yep.
And, like, she flies until her wings lock.
Yep.
Like, she literally can't fly anymore. But she does until she physically can. And so I think that does a lot to, like, demonstrate. Hopefully there will not be an ongoing resentment that we have to, like, overcome with Eragon and Saphira. Like, there will be things that, like, Eragon will have to, like, work through together, but Saphira being there so instantly and completely, like, demonstrates this has not created a change in their bond.
Absolutely.
Closeness.
And I think, like, again, like, kind of just building off that, one thing I really want to draw attention to was that when she first takes off, she has Eragon on her back and Garo strapped beneath her, and she is in the air and she's trying to lift Garo and she can't. For a long painful second nothing happened, but then she lunged forward powerfully and they rose higher. So it's like she's putting so much effort into it. Like, she's not just like, oh, I just can't do this. She's literally putting everything she can into this, even though, like you said, it is an obvious burden. Yeah, like, it's not something she can do. And then we see, and then we see, I think, very well written, like, what we're not in her head while this is happening, but we can see demonstrate, like, this is so hard physically for her until her body physically gives out and can't do it. We see Eragon now must do the exact same thing when she can't fly anymore. They're still a league from Carvajal. So he's going to take it. He's going to get his uncle the rest of the way. And, like, he grit his teeth and began to drag Garo down the road. The first few steps sent an explosion of agony through him. I can't do this, he howled at the sky, then took a few more steps. And it's just, like, it's excruciating and it's painful. And he's like, with desperation, he wondered if Carvajal still existed or if the strangers had burnt it down too. Yep.
After a time, through a haze of pain, he heard shouting and looked up. Brahm was running towards him, eyes large, hair awry, and one side of his head caked with dried blood. Brom, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
sorry, try
like...
not to curse as much, but Brom, what the hell?
It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Like, and I almost, like, maybe that's a almost confirmation to Eragon, like, worrying about Carvajal being burnt down. And then he sees one of the villagers running at him.
The last one he saw.
Yeah, bloodied. And so it probably sends a pain through him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you.
I think it's just reiterating, like, we, like, in Eragon's head get to experience that, like, so very, like, physically painful, but I can't give up. I have to keep going. I have to keep going. And then Eragon, when Brom gets him, passes out. He physically couldn't go anymore. So we, like, I think that relates. Like, we see that mirrored in, like, Saphira. I have to keep going. I have to keep going. Until she physically, her body shuts down.
Exactly. Yep. He tasted blood, then blacked out. Yep.
Sorry. What the hell?
Yeah. He probably bit his lip or tongue or something.
Started, like, tasted blood, then blacked out.
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah. Like,
and that's how the chapter ends off.
That's how the chapter, it's like, oh shit, like, for real.
Everything went wrong.
Everything went wrong. And it's honestly, like, if you try to, like I've thought about this a lot too, especially on my many like, I remember reading this for, like, the second, third, fourth time, something like that, and just being like, no, Eragon, take Garrow with you, please. Just do that. But it's also, like, I don't know how it would have ended differently if that didn't happen, because I think Saphira has a really good point. If they had stayed, Eragon might be dead too now.
Yeah. Eragon thinks she can protect him from anything. Yeah. She knows she can't yet.
Yeah. Yep. And so it's sad and it sucks and it's, oh shit. Yeah. Really gloomy.
Brutal.
Yep.
So what are our writing takeaways for this one, Luce?
Yeah, so I'll kind of talk about the one that I was kind of leading up to with describing something that your book characters wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah.
So a really good example of this is, since I've recently been obsessed with it, is in Legends and Lattes. And the main character... I'm not going to remember any of these names. Main character, Viv, she starts up a coffee shop. And her whole goal is literally just to sell coffee. But then, and also sell lattes, so she mixes milk with her coffee, and it's like a big hit. But then she hires a ratkin, and he called Thimble. And Thimble is a baker, a brilliant baker. And, like, he makes cinnamon rolls. And they have no idea what the cinnamon rolls are. But, like, the way the author describes it is, like, that's a cinnamon roll. And it's, like, and they don't even call it a cinnamon roll. Like, I can't remember what Tandri, who's her assistant, who Viv's assistant, I touched the thing, calls them. She calls them something else. And then...
So you're going to make cinnamon rolls for the Halloween party?
I might. And then, but then Thimble also brings in chocolate, and no one has no idea what chocolate is. And he breaks off a piece, and they eat it, and it's described, like, the taste of chocolate. Yeah. And it doesn't say what it is. And then after they taste it, and it's described...
Do you remember how they describe the taste of chocolate without saying chocolate? Like, just...
I don't remember at all. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. Lucy's audiobook.
Yes, I audiobook. I don't have book. I really do want to buy this book, though. It's very good.
It's a pretty book. Yeah, like, I've seen it advertised a lot.
Yeah, it's very good.
Pretty book. It has been targeting me, and I'm like, yeah, I know Instagram. You're not wrong. I will get around to that. I thought it was a webcomic at first, so I was disappointed when I'm like, oh, it's a book. No, that's great.
It's like,
I just really like comics. It's fine.
Yeah, and so, and it's really funny because, so Tandri is described as a succubus, and she doesn't, like, the first time her, like, succubus powers, like, come into play is when she eats chocolate, and then they feel like her going, oh my god, this is amazing. And they're like, are you good? And she goes, oh yeah, I'm fine.
That's so good. That's chocolate.
Because I just thought it was so good and so funny. And then what he ends up doing is Thimble ends up putting the pieces of chocolate in these, like, really buttery croissants. And Tandri describes them as, like, buttery crescent with a sinful center, and it's just it's so good. So it's like, I think, like, a very, very long tangent into a very short sentence is the writer takeaway is, like, think about ways that you can describe different things in a way that your readers will know, but your characters don't, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It is. There's a poem, and it is let me Lucy, will you hand me the... Oh, it's over here. Okay. I've got it in here, actually, because I had it a couple of times. Speaking of the writing camp... I'm back. I know I've got it in here. A Martian Sends a Postcard Home by Craig Rain. And this is the one that the writing teacher presents. Yeah. Hannah was one of the teachers I got to work with. This is like her lesson that she created, and a bunch of other teachers do it now. But it's I'll read the first couple verses. Caxtons are mechanical birds with many wings. Then some are treasured for their markings. They cause the eyes to melt or the body to shriek without pain. I have never seen one fly, but sometimes they perch on the hand. And it's like several verses of a Martian describing human things in a way that like they don't know the word for it, so they're describing it to their Martian like family who also doesn't know the word for it. Yeah. So Lucy, do you want to guess what that was?
One more time.
Caxtons are mechanical birds with many wings, and some are treasured for their markings. They cause the eyes to melt or the body to shriek without pain. I've never seen one fly, but sometimes they perch on the hand.
Oh man. I'm thinking like a phone or a watch.
Those are both good guesses. It's a book.
It's a book. Mm-hmm. All the wings.
Yeah, the wings. They're treasured for their markings. They perch in the hand. So that's I really like that. But tying back into like recognizing what your characters don't know, but your readers would definitely know, and like describing that in a way that this one's definitely like wacky. I think the problem is that they're called mechanical. Yeah. Which is like
because it makes you think of
like I don't know why Rain picked that word. I guess paper would have been too obvious. I guess strange birds with many wings. I don't know. But it's also a Martian, whom maybe the justification is, I don't know what mechanical means.
Even if they said, like, the description of the feel of the paper, like the chalky leather feel of the many wings or something.
Yeah. But the reason, that one specifically is like, make sure, like, what does your character know that doesn't know that the audience would know? How do you describe it in the way that the audience can recognize clearly? But also it's like, don't do the thing where it's like, why would they know what this is? Yeah. Like, although it's like, the characters... We make coffee, so they could roll and be like chocolate. It's like, yeah, of course they know what chocolate is. They have coffee. Yeah. But I like the fact that your example is like, but they don't know what it is, and you don't really need justification to why they don't know what it is. I'm trying in this poem to find the word that the poet uses that the speaker shouldn't know because they don't know what books are. I found it. So the next stanzas are. Mist is when the sky is tired of flight and rests its soft machine on the ground. Then the world is dim and bookish, like engravings under tissue paper. So you know the word bookish and you know the word paper, Martian, but you couldn't tell them what a book was. Yeah. So it's a poem. Whatever. It's fun. Yeah. It's not the point. But that just was the example.
Yeah. Don't kind of like if you're buckle down and then read, because it's like even in lattes, like Viv is talking to someone like, I'm going to start a coffee shop, and they're like, good luck with that, and she walks off and they're like, hey, wait. What's coffee? Like it's she knows what it is because she's had it before, but it's also like, and she would say, coffee, but like other people who aren't in the gnomish cities wouldn't know because it's a gnomish delicacy in these books. So it's just
I like that. Yeah.
It's just like things like that, and that's like why it's such a big hit because for one, I was really funny when I was reading it. I'm sorry to distract from.
That was the end. That's the end of that. Yeah.
What it was so funny was like she starts like doing coffee, like making this coffee. And I'm like, Viv, you're such a scam artist. They're going to get hooked on caffeine. Of course they're going to come back. Like,
just introducing drugs.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to get the whole town you're in hooked on caffeine.
There's not a Starbucks to compete with you. Of course they're going to be a hit.
It was just so funny. I was like giggling to myself. God, it was really good. No, but do recommend, there is like a romance aspect to it.
I was like really hoping there was.
Yeah, there is, but it's not like it's not the focus of it, which can be kind of obnoxious sometimes when it's in like
it's like a subplot.
Yeah, it's a subplot. Yeah.
It's like a C plot.
Yeah, and it's I think it's done really, really well. So do recommend Legends and Lattes and especially like a good example. It's a short read. I think it was only like 8 hours to listen to, maybe less or a little more. I can't remember. Yeah, not that bad. Really good read and good examples of describing certain like tastes specifically, obviously. Yeah. That some people wouldn't know, but others would know. Because Thimble knows what chocolate is, but Viv and Tandri don't. So it's really, really good.
That. Yeah. I definitely should read it, because the book I'm writing, one of the characters runs a coffee shop called the Necronomicup.
It's so good.
So I'm like, I should probably see more into this. Anyway, that's a good writing takeaway. I think mine is, because I mentioned it earlier, it's just don't pull your punches.
Yeah.
It's some on the medium. Like if you're doing a kid's book. Yeah. Which this is like middle grade kids YA, but it's like, yes, but also no. Sometimes I feel like I think we talked about this before. It's like, I think it being published in like the middle grade section is part of what made it like really pop off, because there weren't any other books like it in the middle grade section for us when it was coming out. But the description of how terrible the farm is. Yeah. And also like how badly Garo is hurt. It's not just it could have just described like he looked terrible, a cut on his cheek, and his breath was ragged. Yeah. And that's one thing, but the actual description we get, the what you read and saw acid, like that paints a very different picture. Yeah. And so I was like, especially like, don't pull your punches, but also don't be gratuitous. Yeah. Like if you're writing a book that's supposed to be, or your medium is supposed to be this way. Yeah. Like, I don't know, if you're writing a horror thing and its genre is torture porn. Yep. Okay, yeah, you know your genre. Yeah. Like,
if that's what you're going for, go for it.
Yeah, like I'm not going to tell you how to write your thing. Like, you know what it is. But I think the instinct is like, because I'm podcast I'm listening to right now is called Teen Creeps. They just cover YA pulp fiction from the 80s and 90s, a lot of horror. And a big like complaint they have reading these like older books like A. Bates, D.A. Atkins, R.L. Stein, Christopher Pike, is oftentimes they're like, why are you pulling your punches? Yeah. Why didn't any of the characters die in this book where there was like a murderer running around? Like, why did you only kill the cat and none of these kids? Like, and again, fiction. Yeah. Obviously. But it's like, if you're gonna, I figured out what I'm saying. If you want there to be stakes, you can't pull your punches. Yeah. That's what it is. Yep. That's what it is. And it's not just never pull your punches, but like, if you want your reader to actually believe in the stakes that you are trying to get them to believe in, absolutely, don't put, because I believe it now. Yeah, like 100%. I believe that Saphira had right to be afraid. I believe that the tension we were building was like justified. I believe that the shade is legitimate. I am afraid for the elf woman again. Like, I absolutely believe it now. Yeah. And if Garo was just, a bad cut and a ragged breath, the farm's exploded, but like, I'm not sure I would believe it.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And I agree with that. Like, if they had come back and like the farm was destroyed, but like Garo was, if Garo had been untouched when they had got back, like that would have been like a relief, but it also would have been pulling punches. Yeah. Like it wouldn't have, like the consequences of everything, or it wouldn't have been like the fear that it instilled. Like it would have been like, because it makes it so real, like, the farm's destroyed, but Garo's okay. It's like, no, even Garo was injured in this badly, by these two individuals. And so it's like, it does give weight to what Saphira, why she was so afraid of them. It's like, they're not scared of hurting people. Like they're not scared of blowing shit up to the point where it is unfixable. Yeah,
blow shit up. They can hurt people. Like this isn't just like a stab wound. This is something
serious.
Horrible and left to die. Yep. But so I'm like, it's like I said, not every book should be like this. Yeah. Obviously. And there were like audiences were like, I don't know, man, if I'm writing for like an 8 to 12-year-old, I don't think I describe it quite like that. Like I maybe describe a bad cut and breathing raggedly. Yep. And that might be enough for that age group to be like, bad.
And then it's like, even like, can I add on to
Absolutely.
That? And then it's like, even like maybe like the person goes into like a hospital or something, and then they overhear the doctor saying, the cut got infected.
Yeah, it's
like, not healing. Yeah. Like you can still have the like stakes are bad and this person may or may not survive. Yeah. But you don't have to describe. Yeah. You don't have to go into it.
Yeah. I guess it's like, that would be like, that's not the writing takeaway I have for this one, but now that I'm talking about it, it's like, you can like not pull your punches, and I think you can commit to your stakes while still being like appropriate to your genre and audience.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it has to be either or. Where it's like, I'm writing for kids, so I can't let anybody get badly hurt. Like, well, if you want to write a story where that scary thing happens and your characters are in danger, then like someone has to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because I think also, but it's like, I'm not writing this for like 5-year-olds. Like, obviously, no. Yeah. That's not the right audience for that kind of story.
Definitely be aware of your audience.
So that's where I'm at. Like, if you want your reader to commit to your stakes, do not pull your punches.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, Lucy, thank you again for joining me on another episode.
Of course, and thank you for joining me on this episode. It was a pleasure.
Oh, Lucy, it's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Even when things are getting so very upsetting. If you want to chat with us, actually, let's shout out Curtis again. One of our awesome listeners, Curtis, we have shouted them out before, hit us up again with an excellent, we talked a little bit about tone. Curtis recommended The Last Unicorn with like really concrete descriptions of the forest, and then things slowly get like more ethereal and mystical after that. And tone that doesn't work, The Hobbit movies by Peter Jackson. Lucy will entirely disagree.
I really like the Hobbit movies. I've read the book. I still like the Hobbit movies.
Yep. I will agree with Curtis's take that they waffle between comedic and epic fantasy and never quite hit the right one at the right time.
I can see that.
The tone is all over the board.
Yeah. I will say, I guess in my defense, like the reason why I like the Hobbit movies is because I like the Hobbit so much. And in the Hobbit, you just listen to it, like it's just a listen through and then you're done with it. The movies, you can enjoy it 3 times. Like it goes on for 3, however long the 3 movies are. That's why I really, because I like really like. Yeah.
You liked your Hobbit. You wanted more of it.
Yes. That's fair. I was like, I like my Hobbit. I want more. And I'm like, I get more. And then another movie came out and I'm like, yay. And then everyone was like, it was terrible. And I'm like, I also have it like, we're going off the rails, but I also have a history streak of liking movies everyone else hates.
Lucy has a very specific movie taste.
Yes. I like the Assassin's Creed movie. I really like that one. The Power Rangers movie, really like that one. Everyone else hates those movies. And I'm like, fair enough.
Listen, I'm not gonna judge. I'm a real big fan of the Ever After High animated series.
There you go. I mean, that's a really good series too, though. From like the bits I've seen, like I'm like, yes.
Lucy says, as my Madeline Hatter doll overlooks the proceedings. Listeners, I don't want you to hit us up with the most gut-punching descriptions in books.
Yeah.
I don't want that vibe just randomly whilst going out of my day. So this week, we would love to hear your sparks of inspiration.
Yeah.
Your geodes.
Yeah.
I think about the geode. Well, okay. We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah.
So tell us, please. We would love to hear that. Hit us up on Instagram. We are Eragon Pod on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just shoot us a message. Tell us what has inspired you creatively. Yeah, it just doesn't have to be writing.
Yeah.
Could be cross stitch.
Literally anything.
Could be art.
Like inspiration comes from anything.
Yeah. Could be you just were inspired to go outside and play Pokemon Go for the first time.
There
in the
you
world.
go.
Whatever just got you up and doing a thing that made you feel joyful.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the thing.
Yep. And then if y'all are cool with it or y'all want us to, we can also just kind of maybe do a brief like in our inspiration, just like, hey, so this listener said this was their inspiration, or this listener said this inspiration.
Yeah. So like if you're gonna share it to us, like in the message, like no, hey, it's cool to share this. And,
let us know.
And if it's not cool, just don't mention it at all. And
yeah.
maybe you can still just share it, and we won't like ask you like, is it cool, and put you on the spot. Like we'll just like trust if you want to share and don't want it shared with everybody. That's cool. We'll just we'll let you decide. Like if you want us to share, let us know.
No. And
but
then
if you don't, but you still want to tell us, we still want to hear about it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Bet. Awesome. Well, yes, please tell us happy things.
Yes.
Because this run of episodes is stressing me out.
It's going to be a bit rough. It's a bit rough of a ride for a while.
Happy things. And until then, she's Lucy Hart.
And she is Darien Smartt.
And this is Eragon.
And back again.